like you're not going to work, then I would say don't buy a business because, you know, you're disillusioned.
Right.
You have to work your business. Like you're here working, you're working.
Yeah.
Right. So why would you want to own a business if you have nothing to do with it? And it's that, again, another soundbite. Hey, run an absentee owned business. Okay. If you can be absentee, then why is the seller selling it?
All right, guys. Chad Peterson in studio today in Vegas. We're going to talk wealth building today. Who doesn't love talking wealth, man? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You've been in this space for a while now, right? How many years?
Yeah. I've been buying and selling businesses for 25 years.
Wow. What was the first one you bought?
Man, believe it or not, I was a teenager pushing a lawnmower, just mowing grass, but it turned into $400,000 for me. So
what?
Can't complain. Yeah. A lot of business owners just don't know that what they have, even though they don't like it, it's worth a lot of money. So just because you don't like it and you're tired of it doesn't mean somebody else wouldn't want to buy it from you.
Yeah. So someone actually bought a lawn mowing business.
Yeah. I was making about 50 grand a year, and there was another guy who owned a larger company than mine. And he said, Chad, why don't I buy this from you? And I was like, buy what, man? I don't even want this thing. He's like, well, you've got all the accounts. I don't have to go win the accounts. He bought it from me. I was 19 years old.
Holy crap. So you got a taste of it at an early age.
Yeah, that's where it all started for me.
Were you in college at the time?
No, I was getting ready to. I was getting ready to go to flight school. Want to be a pilot. And listen, if I would have been smart, I would have sold that company and leveraged that money into a larger business.
Yeah.
You know, but instead I went to flight school, 9/11 happened, lost my career, is what it is. But I took that lesson forward and I just kept doing it and kept doing it. That's how I made my money. Now I teach other people how to do it.
Nice. So that set you back when you went to flight school for a few years?
Yes, absolutely. I would have been worth $10 million by the time I was 25 if I used my principles.
Damn. Let's talk about some of these principles.
Yeah.
What are some, how many you got?
Well, a lot of them. I mean, liquidity leads to wealth and paychecks lead to poverty. So if you have a business and you're just making paychecks and you're getting tired of your business, which is normal, most people get sick of what they're doing, then sell your business and create liquidity. Because look, man, everybody who ever made it big had liquidity in their past. Whether they, like I asked you whenever I got in here, like, hey, who you podcasting with today? You're like, well, I got a billionaire that came in. And I said, how did you become a billionaire? You said he sold several 9-figure businesses. There you go. Liquidity leads to wealth. Nobody ever got rich off of paychecks.
Yeah. If you look at the billionaire list, you can't find a single one probably.
Every one of those billionaires had multiple liquidity events, and they use that liquidity to leverage into wealth. And that's what I teach.
Yeah, because there's also that second battle, because some people can get liquidity, but they can't invest it.
Absolutely. They don't know what to do with it after they have the liquidity. You know? So I teach people how to run your business in a certain way, sell that business to create the liquidity event, and then leverage that liquidity into the NLB, the next larger business.
So you want them to invest in another business basically after they sell theirs?
Absolutely. And if they do it in the same year and if they do it the right way, they're going to reduce their capital gains tax, which is huge, enormous. And by the way, Trump right now is trying to reduce the capital gains tax. And I think he'll do it because he's doing great things.
Yeah.
But, 22% capital gains. In fact, Kamala Harris was going to try to get it up to 46%. That would have killed the economy, man.
Oh my gosh.
And she was going to tax 25% on unrealized gains on investments. It would have been terrible for our economy.
Yeah.
But Trump's in there. He's doing great things. I'm proud of the man. And he's going to get those taxes from 22% to 15% on capital gains. So there's never been a better time to sell your business.
Are you confident Trump can bring the economy back right now? Because there's a lot of fear with the stock prices and crypto prices right now.
Just give the man some time. He'll turn it around. Absolutely. I'm totally confident about it. I mean, he's completely competent. He understands negotiation. He understands how money works. He understands how to, he's playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers.
Yeah.
And every, liberal out there is saying, oh, he's selling us out to Russia. Bullshit. He's making deals. He's ending wars, and the Trump derangement syndrome has never been stronger.
TDS.
But if you just give the man some time, he'll get it done. And what's wrong with supporting the president, regardless of who he is? I had to support the last president we had who had dementia. I had to support him for 4 years. So let's just support the man and let's see what he can do. And I'm sure he can do it.
Yeah. I never let politics get in the way of business for me.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, money is green, it doesn't matter whether you're blue or red, right? But I'll tell you this, I was doing really, really well before Biden. Now, let me ask you this. If you let's just say I sell a $10 million company and the rates are around 6%, 6.25%.
Yeah.
Hey guys, shout out to today's sponsor, Kinsta. Running an online business is already a challenge. Your website hosting shouldn't make it harder, and I've been there, dealing with slow load times, confusing dashboards, and unreliable support. That's why I switched over to Kinsta, and it's been a game changer for my brand. Since moving to Kinsta, my site loads faster, runs smoother, and I don't have to stress about downtime. Their intuitive dashboard makes managing everything simple, and their 24/7 expert support means I always have real people whenever to help when I need it. Kinsta's built for performance with blazing fast speeds, enterprise-level security, and 37 global data centers to ensure your site reaches audiences quickly. They also handle free migrations, so switching is effortless, and if you ever get a traffic spike, Kinsta automatically scales to keep your site online when it matters most. I'm not the only one who trusts Kinsta. TripAdvisor, NASA, Indeed, and over 120,000 businesses rely on Kinsta for their WordPress hosting. So if you want hosting that works, just make the switch to Kinsta today. Get your first month free. They'll even handle the migration for you. Just visit kinsta.com/DSH to get started. That's KINSTA.com/DSH.
I sell a company during the Joe Biden administration for $10 million, and the interest rates are now 12%. That essentially makes the cost of the business double. That's what I've been in for the last 4 years.
Jeez.
Absolutely. It's been tough. We've done well, don't get me wrong, but it's been tough.
No, that's a lot of your margin, right?
Oh, well, it makes buying a business pretty much impossible at 12%. You know, just run the math on 10 million, 12% interest. You're getting crushed by debt service.
That's why a lot of real estate got paused under Biden too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're about to see a big crash in the real estate market.
You think so?
Oh yeah, absolutely. 20-30% is about to hit.
Damn. They've been saying that for years though, so you never know.
Oh, I know it. It's coming. We're about to have the biggest real estate correction we've ever seen.
I mean, you're on the inside, so you would know. You're talking to these banks, you're talking to lenders.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
What do you think's causing that?
I don't know exactly what's causing it, man, but I'll tell you what, interest rates, if they do go down, we're going to have so much inventory because right now everybody's holding on to their house because they have good interest rates on their mortgages. Yeah. They're not going to sell right now. If you have a 4% mortgage or a 3% mortgage, why would you sell your house and go get a 7% mortgage? It doesn't make sense. So as soon as the rates go down, inventory is going to go up. And so prices are going to go down. Supply and demand function will be off balance.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that are holding on right now, going to sell whenever the rates get better. Man, you're going to have competition.
And then you got these huge funds stacking up on real estate, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Got BlackRock and a bunch of other VCs or whatever.
Yeah, that's the new way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I tell people is stay out of real estate. I don't promote real estate. I think having a bunch of doors, having 200 doors, 300 doors, all the Grant Cardones of the world and the Chris Crones of the world trying to say, oh, go buy doors. Listen, man, houses are headaches. Okay. The roof, the water leaks, the maintenance, the storms that hit the house. Listen, it's a bunch of headaches. People try to say that owning real estate is the path to wealth. Bullshit is what I say. Owning a business is the path to wealth. And that's what I teach people how to do.
Yeah.
Because, I talk to real estate investors. I'm like, oh, what are you making on that house? Well, I'm making $200 a month on it right now. But, over the next 20 years, that's where things get interesting. The debt will be paid down. And then it's like, my God, why would you mess with something for such little income?
It just seems like it takes so long to get a return.
It's a long-term play. Totally. Real estate's a long-term play.
Yeah. And plus you got to get a little lucky with the market.
Absolutely.
Like depending on what city you're in.
Yeah.
Like some guys are like strategic with it. And that to me makes sense if they're identifying markets that are on the come up. But otherwise you're just gambling,
Yeah. You don't own your house anyway. The bank owns it. We're glorified renters. And you spend all the money on the house to upkeep it anyway. And, you're paying interest on it. It's not paying you money. So I don't make money with my real estate. I live in it. I spend money on it. I'm damn sure not going to go get 50 houses, be a landlord and deal with 200 headaches a month. Just not doing it.
That's a lot of money tied up too.
That's a lot of money. And that's a slow, long grind. But if you own a business, you can earn cash flow immediately. And I'm talking major cash flow.
Yeah.
So you could put 5% down on a business. Let's just say you're going to buy $1 million business. You can put $50,000 down and own the entire business. You can put 5% down and own 100% of the business. And that $1 million business will be paying you $333,000 a year.
Wow.
So where can you put $50,000 down and earn $333,000 a year? Nowhere.
Not in real estate.
Nowhere. Nowhere. The Small Business Administration is.
What's up, guys? Shout out to RX Sugar, one of my favorite snack brands. I'm about to try a flavor I've never had before, vanilla cream. Let's see what we got here. That's solid. I love vanilla. It's my favorite ice cream flavor. Definitely check them out, guys. RX Sugar.
The greatest wealth building vehicle, and it's been around since Eisenhower's been off. Say that again. It's been around since Eisenhower's been in office. That's 80 years, man.
Wow.
And nobody knows about the SBA program.
Yeah.
You know how to get. Did you know that you can get $5 million in your pocket?
That's the SBA loan, right?
Everybody can get $5 million in your pocket. Listen, if you have a 680 credit score, no bankruptcy, or no felony criminal history, you can get $5 million from the SBA.
So I was actually looking into it right now, actually, because you need 2 years of tax returns, right?
Yeah.
On the business. Yeah. So this is our second year for the pod. So I was looking into SBA loans.
What, to grow your business?
Yeah. Hire more editors, hire more staff.
Oh, you don't need an SBA loan to do what you want to do.
Really?
No, you don't. Don't waste your time on getting an SBA loan for small dollars. If you're going to use your SBA loan, then try to borrow $5 million for something bigger. Yeah, I'll show you how to, after the podcast, I'll show you how to get money for that. You don't even want to go to SBA to do that.
That's good to know. I just finished, Cody Sanchez.
I do.
I just finished her book, and it sounds like it's kind of similar to what you teach.
It is not similar to what I teach.
Really? Buying businesses?
No, Cody Sanchez is an actress.
Really?
Yeah, she's not doing deals. She's not a transactionalist.
Isn't she buying like retail laundromats and stores and stuff?
Bro, why would you leave Wall Street, like she says, and why would you go buy a laundromat chasing quarters for a living? It's a soundbite. It sounds good. The people that, the Walmartians of the world listen to her. It's not real. I'm an actual transactionalist. I've been doing this for 25 years. I own a brokerage nationwide. We have 20 locations. I speak, I teach, I actually do the transactions. We're pros at doing the transactions. I don't know, man. Cody Sanchez is an actress. She's doing something to pull in hopeful buyers for, I don't have it figured out, but
interesting.
Yeah, no, she's not a transactionalist. She's not helping people get into businesses. She's not helping people sell businesses. If she is, she's a marketing mouth for another company.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about Hormozi? What do you think about him?
I think solid dude. I like Hormozi. Him and his wife are helping people scale their business, and they're teaching people about M&A. And I have nothing but good things to say about Hormozi. I mean, he doesn't do exactly what I do, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the only one in the world that does what I do. I literally show people how to take a quantum leap into wealth. I show them how to get their time back and how to experience freedom as an entrepreneur versus being owned by their business.
Yeah, which a lot of people are.
Oh, yeah. People say, well, I own a business. And I'm like, are you sure it doesn't own you?
Yeah.
And that's a question that's haunting to business owners because they can't sleep. They're up at night having fights with the wife. They're stressed out. And I show people how to get out of that. And I show them how to 10X their income by getting out of that cycle.
Yeah, that's been a big thing for me. It's like, can you take a week off your business and it still has the same revenue?
It's exactly what I say, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you can't go on vacation and enjoy yourself, why are you even running the business?
Yeah. And usually whenever you're in a business, let's just say you're running a business and you can't leave for a week or two without it falling apart. It's because you don't have processes and systems in place to where you can leave. But what I tell people is, look, that company is paying you money. So go ahead and sell it. Create a liquidity event because liquidity leads to wealth. Okay. So you have to sell to create the liquidity. Then your NLB, the next larger business that you buy, that's where you start doing things differently. Because here's the deal. If you just sold your company and you only sold it for $500,000, which isn't a lot of money, but $500,000 would buy you a $5 million business, paying you $1.7 million a year. So you're going from making $200,000 a year to making $1.7 million a year this year.
Right.
And that's what I teach.
I love that. You said $500,000 isn't a lot. Do you think $1 million is a lot of money?
I mean, it's all relative, but I'm just saying that $500,000 a year is not a lot of money. I mean, I guess it's subject to interpretation. I guess there are some people that would say that's a lot of money. I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be making, $5 to $10 million a year. That's what I want to be making. But 500 grand. I'm just saying, if you had 500 grand, you can walk right into an SBA loan to buy a $5 million business, and you're giving yourself an enormous pay raise. You're going from 200 grand a year in earnings, sell that company for 500 grand, walk right into the NLB, the next larger business, because liquidity leads to wealth. And now you're making $1.7 million a year. You cannot find that kind of return anywhere. And I get everybody through the SBA process. I help them find $5 million bucks. Okay, that's valuable.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody, again, with a 680 credit score, no bankruptcy, no felony, can qualify for $5 million to buy a business.
Crazy. And the interest on that is low, right?
No, right now the interest rates are high, but they're going to come down.
Oh, on the SBA it's high?
Yeah, they're about 11% right now.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Here's what most people don't understand, that the debt service that you pay, whenever you pay down that note, let's just say you borrowed $5 million over 10 years. If you borrowed $5 million, you're going to pay it over 10 years. In 5 years, the company itself has paid the debt service. So people say, man, that's a lot of money to pay to the bank. Well, no, not really, because after 5 years, the company itself has paid down half of that $5 million. If you sell it, you get all that back. So you walked into this situation with only 500 grand. Okay. You got a $5 million business that was paying you $1.7 million a year. But after 5 years, you've made the income over 5 years, and you paid off essentially half of the debt. So now you sell the company and you walk with that $2.5 million in your pocket. Now what can you buy? Well, you can probably buy a $20 million business paying you about $7 million a year. This is what I teach people how to do. And we have a team. You come to me, we put you in a program, and we walk you through the entire process.
I love it. What percentage of your business purchases have worked out, if you had to estimate?
Business purchases?
Yeah, when you buy a company.
Well, we sell 90% of what we bring on. So if a business owner comes to me, they say they want to sell their business, it stands to be a 90% chance that I sell their business.
Wow, that's really high.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to sell a company.
Right. So 11% is the average that sells on the market. So business brokers, man, I have no respect for business brokers at all. Okay. They are paycheck professionals. All they care about is their paycheck. Yeah, they might be able to get your business sold, but more than likely not. 11% is the average.
That's super low.
Yeah. And my average is 90%. So if you bring your business to me and we go to sell, it only stands a 10% chance that it won't get sold.
That's awesome, man. I plan on selling this thing one day, so I'm gonna hit you up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's nobody better at it than me. Now, I don't do it anymore. My team does it, but I might do it for you, but as far as the first question you asked me, how well do the transactions go? You mean the businesses?
Yeah.
We've never had a failure.
Really?
Never.
So every business you bought has worked out?
Every business that I've sold, no business has ever gone under.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So here's what people don't understand. People are so confused about the businesses that sell or that get bought are like a 90+% failure, because we've all heard that number, right? Like 90% of businesses fail. No, that's not real. If that was the case, then why would the SBA be giving $5 million out to every American if 90% of them failed? Only 1 out of 72 businesses fail.
And fails, what does fail mean? Is that bankruptcy, or is that like?
Yeah, going under.
Going under.
1 out of 72.
That's not that high.
No. Now, startups fail all the time because people get ideas like, oh, I'm an idea guy. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on with business owners, but they think they're inventors. I got this idea. Like, I don't want ideas, man.
Yeah.
Keep your ideas to yourself. I got enough ideas. I need you to come in, run this business, execute every day, do the same damn thing every day, the thing that works. And that's, by the way, that's what you've done, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how you're here.
I executed, yeah.
You executed the same thing every single day. It might be monotonous. It might be boring, but you found what works and you keep doing it day in, day out.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need an idea, right? You got your idea figured out.
Yeah.
Well, same thing with business owners. Go in, run your business as it's meant to be ran, and don't bring new ideas to it. Don't try to grow your business. Just run it. And as you run it, your debt service is getting paid down. See, so after 5 years, half the debt you borrowed is paid off.
Yeah.
That's liquidity, and liquidity leads to wealth. So sell your business, take that liquidity, move on to the NLB.
Yeah, I was never a fan of investing pre-revenue. Seemed too risky for me.
It's very risky.
Yeah, most of them don't work out too.
Yeah, right.
You saw that VC bubble get crushed a few years ago.
Yeah, 1 out of 72 loans go bad that have historic earnings, right? So you show me a business that's been open for 10 years and they have steady growth, they have systems in place, a product or a service that the market wants, that business is not going under.
Yeah.
Now it could go under if somebody goes in, buys it and gets cute and clever and says, well, that guy doesn't know how to run the business, I'm going to run it better.
Right.
No, man, you don't know what you're doing. You just bought it. So run it the way that the owner was running it. That's what I teach people. And so when we bring on a seller, when we bring on a buyer, we coach them on what not to do. And that's the problem. All these gurus out there are telling people what to do, but what about what not to do? Right? Like, what if you could stop somebody from making a massive mistake that can just send them right into bankruptcy? Right? So I tell people what not to do more than I tell them what to do.
Right. You ever going to retire, you think?
I'll never retire, man, because I call it retirement-itis. It's a disease where you think that one day you're going to rat hole enough money, and 65 is the age. I think that's been set by Wall Street.
Yeah.
Right? Wall Street and Social Security, because they've set the number. But man, I've seen people retire and they lose their purpose. You can only play golf so much. And I've had people come back to me after I sell their business and they think that they're going to go play golf.
Yeah.
I had one guy snap his golf clubs in his garage. He was so irritated at his life.
Jeez.
He called me back and said, get me back into a business. You can't sit on your ass and do nothing. You have to work.
Yeah.
So people that tell me they want to retire, man, I know they've been bitten by the disease, retirement-itis. You got the disease that says it's sitting around on your ass is a life well lived, and it's not.
Yeah. It's fun for like a month, and then you're like, what's next?
Oh, yeah, man, I can sit on my nuts for 2 weeks, no problem, but I got to get back to work.
Yeah, 100%. Even on vacation, I'm itching to work sometimes.
Absolutely. I got to check my phone.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Social Security is a whole nother conversation. That's scam.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll come back now that Doge is ripping through it. I think it'll come back.
Well, they found out there's like people, like millions of people collecting it that are dead.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's apparently going to run out in like 7-8 years, right? The current rate.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know if it's true or not because we're not on the inside. We don't really know. But what I would say is there's a lot of corruption out there. And, people say, well, Elon is cutting wasteful spending. It's like, no, man, he's cutting corruption.
Yeah.
It's one thing to overspend. It's one thing to go out too many times, go out to dinner too much, buy a car that you can't really afford. And now you're racking up your credit cards. We're talking about $30 billion has been found in the last couple of weeks. That's not wasteful spending.
Nuts.
That's corruption.
Absolutely. Did you have a mentorship throughout this process?
Yeah, we mentor people. We mentor how to buy, how to sell. We have mastermind groups. You can work with me directly, work with my team. We teach you step by step. And people that join my organization, people that join with me, they win. They never fail.
Yeah.
So out here, we had an event with Bradley a couple months ago. And I taught a big room with Brad. And we've got 3 people already that are about to buy a business. And that was in 2 months.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So you come to me, you want to buy a business, you come to me, you want to sell a business, we got you covered.
That's cool, man. You and I will have an event. We'll link some details in this video as well.
Yeah.
Once we plan that.
We should do an event. I want to do an event that's somewhere around 400 people. I don't want to go any more than that.
Yeah.
But 400 people, I can really be effective and show them really how to become wealthy. Because if there's one thing that just infuriates me is that all the online gurus and the hucksters selling things that don't work. I want to show people really how to create wealth, time, and freedom in their life, because you don't want money. Everybody's chasing money, but what does money do for you if you don't have wealth? Well, money, you're always chasing a dollar, right? So if you don't become wealthy, you're chasing money always. Okay. And if you don't have wealth, then you don't have time. And if you don't have the freedom to have your wealth and your time to go enjoy the things you like to do, then what are you doing it for?
Right.
So if you're running a business, you're not passionate about it, it's not bringing you wealth, time, and freedom. I tell people, sell your business, create liquidity, because liquidity leads to wealth. Take that liquidity and move to the NLB, the next larger business. And that's how, like you said, that billionaire that's coming here today, that's how he made his money.
Yeah. 3 big exits.
Yeah.
When you study all the billionaires, they have massive liquidity events. Elon Musk,
Absolutely.
All of them.
Absolutely. And nobody really pays attention to that. They think they earned their way there. No. No,
That's like 1% of it.
they had a liquidity event. So I teach ordinary people, ordinary Joe Sixpack. I show him how to run a plumbing company a certain way to have a liquidity event to then go buy a larger company and make 10 times, 15 times more.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. FTC's cracking down on these gurus, man.
I hope they are.
No, they are. A couple big ones lately.
Yeah. Well, I won't mention a name because that might be tacky, but there's one going through a major investigation right now that we know of. And
there's a few, man.
Yeah. I mean, they all do the same stuff, man. They do the same shit. They're like, hey, look at this jet. You can do it too. Just pay me $29. So, man, like, are people that stupid to know that, to think that's real? It's not real.
There's no longevity to it. If what you're teaching doesn't work, word of mouth will just, these days with social media, word of mouth can destroy you.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're either on the good side of things or you're not.
Yeah.
And those that are peddling the BS, including Cody Sanchez, because people are listening to her. She's pretty.
She's got great branding.
She's got great branding, pretty girl,
she's been on the show, by the way.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine, but I'm just giving it to you real, man. She's not a transactionalist. She's not been doing this for 25 years. Ask her to get you the money for an SBA loan. Ask her to walk you through the process. Ask her how to actually get a business in your hands, how to conduct yourself through the transaction to make sure that you get that business. She can't do it. What she can do is look pretty in front of the camera, and she's really good with speaking. And she gets people fooled in. They're going to go buy a laundromat.
Yeah.
Like, why the hell would you buy a laundromat?
I might have to set up a debate between you two.
Cool. Anytime.
I think there's an audience for her stuff. It's a more beginner audience. You sound more advanced.
It's a beginner audience, but here's what I would say is that if you're going to go buy a laundromat where you're chasing quarters and you're making $60,000 or $80,000 a year, I can show you how to not chase quarters and go make $400,000 a year. What do you want to do?
400.
And by the way, how many laundromats are there in the United States? Like, who knows? 30,000? I don't know. So you're telling millions of people to go buy 30,000 laundromats?
Yeah. At scale, it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by the way, don't homes have washer and dryer hookups?
These days, yeah.
Then what are we doing?
Yeah.
It sounds nice. It's a sound bite like, oh, hey, to somebody who it works at a factory and makes $15 an hour and they get the idea they can go buy a laundromat, so she can peddle some sort of $100 program or $200 program, but it's not real, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell you to buy a laundromat. I wouldn't tell my son to buy a laundromat.
Sounds like a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Passive income. Do you believe in passive income?
Well, I mean, if you buy a business and you think that you're going to be owner absentee, like you're not going to work, then I would say don't buy a business because, you're disillusioned.
Right.
You have to work your business. Like you're here working, you're working.
Yeah.
Right. So why would you want to own a business if you have nothing to do with it? And it's that, again, another soundbite. Hey, run an absentee owned business. Okay. If you can be absentee, then why is the seller selling it? Now that seller could be selling it because he wants to create liquidity, and that's a good enough reason. But if it's truly owner absentee, which they never are, then why would you sell it? If I don't have to show up anywhere, I'm not selling it.
Yeah.
So don't get enchanted with the idea of not working. Get excited about what you do. Be passionate about what you do. Quit with the idea of not working. Quit with the idea of retirement-itis and you're just going to sit on your ass and do nothing. That's not a life well lived. We have to have purpose. We have to wake up every day and have something to do, something that lights us up. Get excited about life. It's like, oh, I wouldn't have to work that much if I was self-employed. Man, that's not the reality.
It's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
You work more.
Work more.
But it's more fun.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Yeah, if you love what you do, it's not work.
No.
I love what I do. I absolutely love it. You couldn't get me to do anything else.
Yeah.
I love being here with you. I love working with my team. Like, I don't want to work part-time. I don't care about Timothy Ferriss's 4-hour work week. What am I going to do? There's 168 hours a week. What am I going to do for 164 hours for the rest of the week? And you can only go out to dinner so many times. You can only go exercise so many times, sit at the beach so many times. 164 hours of doing what?
Yeah.
I got to work, man, because working is fun. Like I like working with you. You and I had plans, right? We're going to do things together, you and I. I like that. I like, the community of that. So find something you love is what I would say, and just keep doing it over and over again.
Absolutely. Any industries you're targeting, any ones that have high multiples like AI or anything crazy?
No, we sell business of all stripes, any kind of business we sell. So it doesn't matter what it is. It comes down to cash flow. So what I teach people is the number one important thing whenever evaluating a company, buying a company, or selling a company is cash flow. Number one. Number two, cash flow. Last but not least, cash flow. So it doesn't matter what business it is. What does it make? What is it cash flow? And a lot of people don't even know what cash flow is.
Yeah.
They have no idea. And what cash flow is net to the bottom line to the owner. That's everything the owner gets out of the company.
So the salary basically?
No, salary plus the company earnings plus add backs. Like, let's just say your taxes that you pay for your income. That's an add back.
Okay.
Your vehicle, that water you bought.
Oh, so all the assets basically?
Yeah. No, assets are different. I'm talking about like whatever you spend. Okay. That's an add back.
Okay.
Your vehicle, the fuel you put in your vehicle, your cell phone, all the add backs go in. So whatever your company does for you, those are add backs. We add those back in as long as they're verifiable and defendable to the bank. And we can prove that the business is expensing those for the benefit of you. We can add that back in.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's cash flow.
That's good to know.
Yeah. A lot of people think they're going to sell businesses off of EBITDA, earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. Businesses are not sold off of EBITDA. Businesses are sold off of cash flow. So let me give you an example. Let's just say you're making $5 million a year in your company. You're tired of the tax bill. So you buy an airplane. That airplane costs you $2 million.
Yeah.
But you go to sell your company and the new owner doesn't want that airplane. That's an add back. See, the buyer is not going to buy that airplane. He doesn't want it.
Right.
So that spending went away. So if that owner wasn't spending his money that way, that would have been income. You get to add that back.
I see.
So people that buy expensive cars, like I have a Rolls Royce, right? So I have a Rolls Royce. It's over 6,000 pounds for the depreciation. And if I ever go to sell my company, which I'm not, but if I did, I can add it back. My company's been paying for it.
That's good
and
to know.
The buyer doesn't have to spend his money the way that I spend my money. So that's an add back.
Yeah. I got a G-Wagon, so that'd be an add back, right?
Yep.
Over 6,000 pounds.
Yeah. Well, that's 179 depreciation. So you're going to be able to rapidly depreciate that car. But what I'm saying is, if I bought your company, I would say, okay, Sean, I'm going to buy Digital Social Hour. Okay. If I bought it and you said, well, the company pays for my G-Wagon, I can say, I don't want it. Okay. Well, then all your payments that you've been paying, that's an add back because I'm not going to spend the money that way. So if your payment on that thing is $2,000 a month, which you probably paid cash for, but if the payment is $2,000 a month or $2,500 a month, and you've been paying for that for the last 2 years, that's just an add back to your earnings, which affects the sales price.
Good to know. So if a business has $5 million cash flow, what are you seeing those sell for on average?
If it was making $5 million in cash flow, that business can more than likely be sold for $20 million.
Okay, so 4X.
Yeah, on that kind of earnings, yeah. There's very few people that make $5 million net per year. Very few.
I think I'll be there in a couple years.
Yeah?
Yeah, because we're doing like $1 million right now, but we're growing quick, so.
Yeah, I mean, with something that you have, you can monetize this differently too.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I are talking about that. Like you and I are going to monetize things.
Yeah, there's a lot of back end stuff I'm not even doing yet. That's just the front end I'm doing $1 million, so.
Right. So, yeah, we could definitely talk about that. But, something like you have, you could get a pretty good multiple off it, especially with your reach and your brand.
I've seen pods sell for stupid amounts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it could sell for more depending on how you monetize it and the businesses that you build off of it.
Yeah, because it's got the viewership element too. Absolutely. So I don't know how they factor that in, but.
Well, it comes down to cash flow. It always comes down to cash flow. But and we'll talk about it off podcast, but if you build this a certain way, I can really set you up for success.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about it for sure. Anything else, man? Any events you got coming up, speaking engagements or anything?
Well, yeah, Brad Lee and I are doing an event on May 2nd, Lightspeed VT, and we only have 65 seats available, but I'm looking for 60. We have 60 that are available, but I'm looking for people that own a business. If business owners are making $250,000 a year net, I want them in that room. I want to show them how liquidity leads to wealth. I want to show them how to go from working in your business and working every day and going from working to wealthy. I want to show them how to go from stress to success. I want to show them how to trade in their job, which stands for just over broke, and go into wealth, time, and freedom. And I can show them that. So Bradley and I on May 2nd, we're going to be doing an event. It's a 1-day event. And I believe Brad's going to have it catered. He does a good job at that.
Cool.
He really does a good event.
Yeah, he's got a great venue.
He does. And so we're really going to be showing people how to do this. So yeah, if your audience wants to go to this, you got to go to Real Biz Acquisitions to get a ticket.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're doing that event. But you and I are going to be doing an event.
Yeah. And yeah, we're going to plan one this year.
Yeah.
Maybe F1 Vegas, I'm thinking.
When is that?
That's in October and November. A lot of big people will be in town.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll do like a 400 person event.
Yeah, 400 people is about my max that I want to bring on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I can be effective in that room. It sounds cool to be like, yeah, let's get 2,000, but
No, it's a shit show.
yeah, it's a shit show. 400 people is about my max.
Yeah. I did a 1,000 person event with Damon John, and everyone was just talking in the back. So you want a nice intimate room.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get militant about it. If you're going to be in my room, cell phone off.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Cell phone off.
You're hardcore.
I'm not there to waste my time. And we have a 21-second attention span now, is what they say.
Yeah. I think it's going less too.
Well, as far as searching online, yes. But even in person, 21 seconds. Because what happens is that phone's going to go off. Or you're going to be like, oh, what's on my phone? Oh, who do I need to text? Who do I need to email?
Yeah.
I tell people to turn off your cell phone. If you need to get on your cell phone, leave the room, go do it, come back. You're going to miss some information that you really need. But, the world has been conditioned that information is not important, whatever's being spoken about.
Yeah.
Listen, at my events, man, I'm giving you real information that's tactical. I will turn you into a multi-millionaire, but you can't be looking at your phone whenever I'm talking because we're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
I cannot compete with your cell phone. I cannot compete with your distraction. And look, if you either want to be wealthy or you want to be distracted, and those who are distracted are not wealthy.
Yeah.
So if I get people in a room for 1 day undistracted, I'll change their lives.
A lot of distracted people these days, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel
Heads in the sand, distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel for these college kids, and it's tough learning environment.
Yeah. So if you're a college kid and you don't have any job prospects, you have a degree or you almost have a degree, don't hunt for a job. Go buy a job. Go buy a business. They're everywhere. There's a $10 trillion wealth transfer of businesses. There's $10 trillion of businesses about to change hands.
Wow. That's because all the boomers, right?
Yeah. All the boomers still own most of this country's wealth.
And a lot of them don't know how to use the internet, so they don't even know how to sell their company.
Exactly.
You got to hunt for these people.
Yeah. Well, nobody knows how to sell their company. Even those that act like they know how to sell their company, they don't have the experience.
Right.
They don't know how to get to the win. They don't know how to get to the closing table. And I do. I've been doing this for almost 25 years. So I can take somebody that has a business and I can get it sold. It only stands to be a 10% chance that I don't. But equally, I can take a recent college grad and I can get him the money and the contracts and everything to do it, to get it done and to buy that business safely to where it doesn't fail. So that's what I do. That's what my team does across the country.
Yeah. You want to become a billionaire?
Oh, I will be a billionaire.
That's a goal of yours?
I will be. Yeah.
Only like what, 300 people in the US? 350?
Yeah, I think it is 350.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a very exclusive club, man.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I was doing research on billionaires. I've only seen like 12 of them go on podcasts. A lot of them are really low key.
Yeah, because a lot of them aren't really outspoken. They're usually quiet. They're very disciplined. Billionaires, very disciplined, quiet, under the radar.
Which one have you studied the most?
Studies the most, probably Trump, really.
Okay.
Carl Icahn. Studied Warren Buffett a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't do what Warren Buffett
Too
does.
slow for me.
Oh yeah, way too slow. I don't want to sit around and read financials.
You didn't become a millionaire until 50 something, I believe.
Yeah, that's what's said anyway. Who knows? It was like
So.
56, 57, I think.
Yeah, that's too late for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of life right there.
Did you say millionaire though?
Millionaire, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Billion.
being a millionaire is not hard, man. Like when I was younger, I was like, man, one day I want to be a millionaire. I became a millionaire. I was like, that wasn't that hard.
So 1 million is not what it used to be.
No, exactly.
Yeah. I think 100 years ago, $1 million was like something stupid, tens of millions of dollars. That's when they coined the term millionaire, like early 1900s.
Yeah, I think if you're wealthy now, not wealthy, but if you're doing real well now, I think yesterday's million is today's 20 million.
I'm thinking 20 mil now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because $1 million, you can't even buy a nice house.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 20
Like if you have
million,
kids at least.
yeah, 20 million, you can put it into a good investment. You know, if you don't want to work anymore, put it into a good investment, live off the interest and, you know, live well.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get anywhere with $1 million. And I see these people that literally talk themselves out of success because the answers are there. I have the answers. I'm willing to give them to you. I'm willing to teach you. Come to my event. After my event, you will not be the same. You won't look at money the same. You'll understand liquidity. You'll understand leverage. You'll understand the safety of buying a business. And I see people just head in the sand, stuck in what they're doing, day out, you know, day in, day out, grinding.
Yeah.
You know, like not making any change. People are so complacent anymore. They want to be successful, right? And the information is at our fingertips. We are in the information age bigger than what we ever have. AI, it'll tell you everything you need to know. You know, a long time ago, you had to search for that information.
Right.
So it just goes to show that if the information was available, people aren't going to make a change. They're still not going to do what it takes to become successful.
No, that's so true because it's at your fingertips right now. All the answers you could ever need.
Yeah. And is still the #1 searched item on the internet.
Wow.
So if I could show somebody how to become a multimillionaire this year, #1, they don't believe it. They're like, oh, I couldn't do it. I'm not worthy of those dreams, or that guy's just peddling something, or he's just on a podcast saying that. And well, they'll find every excuse in the world. I literally turn people into multimillionaires. But you know what they'll do? They'll be like, oh, I'm not going to do that. But they'll watch some or get lost and have brain rot on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
They'll spend 5 hours a day doing that, but they won't spend 2 hours listening to my information.
Yeah. A lot of comfort these days, right? I think they've been conditioned to think that way too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just the laziness factor, the brain rot.
Yeah.
You're sitting around, you know, scrolling your phone like you're not dying, man. We're dying. Every one of us are dying. Like I'm closer to my deathbed today than I was yesterday. Tomorrow, I'm one day closer to the coffin.
Yeah.
And people are acting like that's not happening. Like they got all the time in the world. You don't, man. You know, life is happening right now. Quit wasting your time on your phone. Learn the information. Get the damn information that you need to go out there and win. That's what I tell people, man. Quit wasting your life.
Yeah, I often think about this, like, is work ethic teachable, right? Because out of my hometown, I'm like the only one who really made it out, but I wasn't the smartest. I just worked way harder than everyone else.
Man, look, you don't have to be incredibly smart. You have to be able to go in, show up every day, execute, repeat, wash, repeat, wash, repeat. That's it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no magic science to it. And anymore, nowadays, there's a help wanted sign on every business out there.
Facts.
The fact is, if you want to show up nowadays, you'll win. It's the easiest time in history to become successful. But you have to learn what you need to know to do it, and then just show up and execute every single day. And you put yourself ahead of 98% of the competition.
Absolutely. Chad, where can people find you, man? And we'll link your website and your event below.
Yeah, go to chadpeterson.com. Go to petersonacquisitions.com. Either way. So chadpeterson.com, you can go there to learn everything you need to learn to become successful. I'm a no BS guy. I'm going to tell it to you straight. You know, I'm not peddling snake oil. I'm not here to mislead anybody. I give it to you real. Go to petersonacquisitions.com if you really want to sell your company or buy a company, but go to chadpeterson.com if you want to learn.
Love it. We'll link below. Thanks for coming on, man. We'll do a part 2.
Yeah.
All right, guys, check him out. See you next time.